Hey there, my name's Rita, and I am a 35-year-old woman. For a couple of years of my life I was paralyzed. Yes, paralyzed. It happened because of a car accident, and honestly, I was just grateful to be alive. That time was a tough one for me to go through because it opened up my eyes to the true colours of my then husband, Sam. I met Sam at the movies. Yes, I know, that sounds kinda crazy. We both happened to go to watch this movie alone and just happened to be sitting next to each other. We got to talking and joking around about the movie. When we got out of the theatre, I got to take a proper look at his face, and I was literally struck by how handsome he looked. We decided that we didn't quite want to stop talking, so we went to the cafe nearby and got ourselves some coffee. That one spontaneous date led to several more. Sam was genuinely a great guy. He was funny and just knew how to make any time a good time. He also came from a family with money, so he was never shy to spoil me senseless. I had a lot of fun with him. So when he proposed to me after 4 years of dating, I was more than excited to live a good life with him. The next couple of years were great, or so I thought. Looking back, I see a lot of the issues that existed that I just brushed off because I loved him, but nonetheless, I had a good time with him. Of course, like any regular couple, we had our fights. It was on one particular day we were having an argument and we got into a car crash. I don't even remember what we were arguing about, but I do remember that we were yelling at each other. In a moment of anger, while driving the car, Sam pulled his phone out to send a text. He moved his eyes off the road and didn't pay attention to his steering. Next thing I know, I'm yelling because we're driving into the divider, and then I black out. When I wake up, I see Sam sitting by my side looking beat up. Turns out I had been in a coma for about 2 weeks. My parents had also taken turns sitting by my side, although there was some tension between them and Sam. I guess he told them the truth. The first thing I became aware of was the lack of feeling in my legs. I began panicking about it. The doctors rushed to get some tests done, and then I was told that I was going to be paralyzed. I was devastated and inconsolable for a while. I remember feeling like my world was going to end. I stayed in the hospital for another few weeks before I was sent back home. I was still taking meds for all the other injuries I had sustained, and the meds made me feel pretty sleepy. I needed a good amount of care, and Sam was barely there for me. I tried to not let it affect me, but it really did. I spent a lot of time in the bedroom, and one day I just wanted to sit in the living room and watch TV. So when Sam got home from work, I asked him if he could carry me over to the couch. "Hi, my love. How was work?"
It was so tiring. I just want to take a hot shower and then relax."
"You go do that, but before you do you think you could just carry me over to the couch so I can watch some TV?
Are you serious? Does my being tired mean nothing to you?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
You didn't mean to? Please, you always mean to make things worse for me.
I'm sorry. I just feel like I'm going to go insane because I'm constantly in here. If it was such a big deal, you could have just said no.
Whatever, I can't do this anymore.
What are you talking about?
I can't deal with you. You're so tiring, I hate it. I deserve way better than this. I'm done. I'm leaving.
You can't leave me. How am I supposed to do anything in this state?
I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care. Do what you like. Bye.
I was beyond heartbroken. I know that caring for someone who was paralyzed was not a piece of cake. It was a full-time job. At the same time, we vowed to stay together through sickness and in health, and I was in the position to begin with because of his rash driving. I know he hadn't been the greatest whenever I did fall sick. He would literally leave me to deal with my sickness alone. I remember there was this one time that I came down with pneumonia and needed to be hospitalized. He conveniently had a business trip to go on right when I started showing symptoms, and when I called him, when my symptoms got worse, he told me that he wouldn't come back. I don't even know how I managed to get to the hospital on my own, but as soon as I got into the ER, I collapsed. I was hospitalized for 3 weeks, and not once did he even call to check up on me. When I did get better and I was allowed to go back home, he came back. We had a huge fight, and he didn't even apologize once. Looking back, I should have left him right there and then, but I thought that it was something I could get over, and I didn't want to let go of him. I guess it's right that love blinds people. I managed to fall asleep that night. The next morning, though, I needed help getting out of bed, but I couldn't do it myself. I can't even begin to describe how helpless I felt. I remember breaking down again for a while before I was stable enough to call my mum and ask her to come over. My mum must have heard the pain in my voice, so she was over in a heartbeat. I'd always kept a spare key under one of the flower pots at our front door, so my mum used it to get inside. She found me in bed, looking like a downright mess. She quickly helped me out of bed and helped me freshen up. It felt so comforting to have my mother take care of me like she used to when I was a child. When I was settled back down in bed, my mum asked me where Sam was. "I'm not trying to say that I don't want to help you, darling, but where is Sam?" He left. Left? What do you mean? Last night we had an argument because he'd just got back from work and was too tired to take care of me. All I asked him to do was move me to the living room so we could watch TV together. That's hardly a difficult task. No offence, darling, but you barely weigh much. I've seen him carry your drunk brother from the driveway to his room upstairs, and they went drinking together after work, and your brother's massive. I know, but he thought that was asking too much. He told me he couldn't keep doing this for the rest of his life, so he just left. That son of a gun! How could he do that to someone he claimed to love? If your dad got paralyzed, I would have been there with him no matter how tired I was. That's what love is. Yeah, I wish I knew that. He's done this before too, you know. Whenever I've been sick, he's left me to deal with it alone. I guess I just hoped my being paralyzed would be different. Oh, sweetie, why didn't you tell us about this? I don't know, it was embarrassing. I mean, what kind of partner does that? Besides, I loved him too much to leave or talk bad about him. Okay, well, I don't love him too much. I'm going to call his dad. Bill will definitely be able to get a hold of him. Let's see what happens. Of course, she didn't do that immediately. I was still her first priority. She made me food and bathed me. She helped me get into the living room where we spent time watching crappy reality TV and just overall enjoying our time together. My medication made me feel pretty sleepy, so sometime around late afternoon, I fell asleep on the couch. When I woke up later that night, my mum had dinner ready for me. While we ate, she told me that she had called Bill and told him about what Sam had done. He had promised her to take care of it, but he did ask if it would be possible to invite Sam over so he could talk to him in front of us. I didn't know what Bill had in mind, but I knew that Bill loved me and had considered me to be like his own daughter. So he would definitely give Sam a piece of his mind. I wanted to be there to see it happen, so I told my mum that Bill was welcome to do whatever he wanted. It took about a week before I saw Bill. My mum and dad had moved in with me by this point. My dad was ready to punch Sam, but my mum and I had to convince him to let Bill deal with it instead. When Bill came over, he apologized for Sam's behavior.
Rita, I'm so sorry for everything Sam has done. I spoke to him the other day and, well, I found out that this has been a recurring thing in your relationship. I'm really sorry about it. Look, we appreciate you coming here and apologizing, but my wife and daughter have told me that you will do something about it. If you don't, I will find Sam and punch him senseless. I do have things in mind, but you are also free to do that if you want.
What do you have in mind?
Well, first off, I'm disowning him. I want no part in his rash and ignorant behaviour. This is not the son I raised. Secondly, I will personally fund all of Rita's treatments. I'll make sure that you can walk again if that's the last thing I do.
Bill, that means so much to me. You have no idea. Thank you so much. Really, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful to you.
You deserve better than Sam. I was going to send him the money to help you get better, but I'm glad I didn't, because I'm sure that someone as selfish as him would have spent that money on himself. Thanks a lot, Bill. We are indebted to you. No, none of that. If anything, I'm indebted to Rita for putting up with Sam. I have one more thing to do. If it's okay, I would like to have Sam over this weekend because I want Sam to witness it.
We're okay with it.
Okay, great. Also, Rita, you have your first appointment with a new specialist tomorrow. I'll send someone to pick up and drop you off. Don't worry about anything. I'll take care of you.
Thank you so much, Bill. After Bill left, my parents and I were left kind of speechless. How did a man as generous and kind as Bill ever raise someone like Sam? My life was about to change yet again, but for the first time in a while it was in a good way. I was, and still am, grateful to Bill for everything he did for me. The next day, my mum accompanied me to the doctor's. After a bunch of rigorous scanning and prodding, the doctor told me that I had suffered an injury that was pretty curable. He had me referred to the best physiotherapist and told me to get started with physiotherapy as soon as possible. I cannot even tell you just how happy I was to hear that. Both my mum and I burst into tears of joy. I was going to be able to regain my motor functions, and I would be able to feel my legs again. When we got home, we told my dad, and it was about the third time I had seen my dad cry in front of me. We were really happy. The rest of the week was spent going to physiotherapy. I was told that it would take a couple of years until I relearned how to walk again, but I was okay with it as long as I could walk and feel my legs. It was tiring, I'm not going to lie. I never realized just how physically and mentally taxing it was to do physio. When you do it, you're suddenly aware of just how incapable you are. But I knew I had to keep going for my life to get better. Finally, the weekend arrived. I waited nervously for Sam and Bill to show up. Bill had told us that he had threatened to fire Sam if he didn't come over and apologize, but he didn't tell him that he would be coming over as well. So Sam would come over first, and then he would. When Sam finally came over, I will admit it, I wanted to start yelling at him. I wanted to hurt him just as much as he hurt me. But I wanted to let Bill do what he wanted to do. My parents just glared at Sam. Sam walked over to me and tried to carry out a regular conversation.
Hey, Rita.
Hey, Rita? Is that all you have to say? You left me for almost a month and this is all you have to say? What are you even doing here?
Don't make this hard, Rita.
You make it hard when you were the one who was texting and driving, and on top of that, you left me all alone knowing I can't do things on my own.
See, this is why I can't take care of you. You're constantly nagging and you always make me feel bad.
I make you feel bad? Since when? You've never once taken care of me.
Again, see, you do this. Do you think I don't feel bad?
I don't think you do. If this was your way of apologizing, it's sad.
Whatever, I tried to apologize, but you were being difficult. I did my best. I'll just leave now.
I couldn't believe that this was the man I had married. This was not the Sam I knew. Had he always been this heartless? I felt a lump form in my throat and my eyes started tearing up. My heart hurt. I knew it was bad enough that Bill had to threaten him for him to even come back to apologize, but he literally didn't even try. He just blamed me even more. Did he really not feel apologetic or even sympathetic towards me? Was I not worth that much to him? I looked over at my parents and I saw both of them looking just as shocked. As soon as Sam turned to leave, I saw my dad snap out of his shock and race towards Sam. Before Sam could even register what was happening, my dad turned Sam around and punched him square in the nose. Sam yelled and hunched over in pain. He began screaming at my dad while my dad just stared at him blankly. My mum rushed over and held my dad's hand to examine it. Thinking back, that was kind of funny. My mum chose to see if my dad hurt his hand instead of being bothered about Sam's pain. While we were all caught up with whatever happened, we didn't notice that Bill had walked in. He took one look at Sam's bleeding and bruised nose and my dad's bruised knuckles. I guess he figured out what had happened. My parents eventually noticed Bill there, and when Sam saw my parents look in Bill's direction, he too looked up. Seeing his dad standing there made his face pale.
Dad, what are you doing here? I thought I would drop in to see how the apology was going, and well, I guess it didn't go so well. I tried, but this man hit me. Rita, is that true? Did he apologize? No, not really. He just blamed me for everything, and when I called him out for doing that, he told me he left because I was too difficult. Wow. I would love to say that I am surprised, but I expect nothing more from you, Sam. You've disappointed me yet again. Oh, come on, Dad. Even you have to admit she's being difficult. You try taking care of someone who's constantly nagging. I was the reason that someone needed to be taken care of in the first place. I'd deal with anything they did or said. You're selfish and ignorant, and I want nothing to do with you. You will clear your desk out tomorrow and get out of all of our lives. You can't do that. I'm literally your illegal heir. Are you now?
Bill then threw some papers in Sam's face. Sam caught them in confusion and scanned over the documents. His face paled even more. He looked at his dad in shock.
You can't disown me? Yes, I can. I'm so disappointed in you. Just the sight of your face makes me so irrationally angry. Your mother would have been ashamed of you. You're heartless. How can you do this to me? I'm the one that's heartless. Sam, you were the one who abandoned your paralyzed wife. You were the one who got into an accident that led to her paralysis. I said I was sorry. No, you did not. And you're not going to get anything from me or Rita. What will I possibly get from Rita? Every one of my assets will go to her when I die. What? She's been so strong and has dealt with you for so long. It's the least she deserves. This is all your fault, Rita. You just had to open your damn mouth. Now look at what you've done. Are you happy? I am. I am very, very happy. You deserve nothing less than this. I hope you rot. Get out of my house. Sam tried to put up a fight, but none of us listened to him or even engaged with him. He eventually stormed out of the house while yelling out curses at us. When he left, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. My nerves started to come down, and I turned back to Bill and asked him if he was being serious about transferring all his assets to me, because I was pretty sure he had assets worth millions. He told me he was. I was shocked, but also very grateful. I tried to tell him that he was going a little too far with it. He assured me that I deserved it. He also told me that he had an opening in his company, and that the job would be mine if I wanted it. He told me I could work from home until I was able to walk again. Needless to say, I was a mess of tears. I was so grateful for him. Over the course of the next 3 years, I officially got divorced from Sam, and I religiously went to physiotherapy. In 2 years, I was able to walk, although my legs still felt weak if I stood for too long, but I gave it another year, and I was more than healed. I took up Bill's offer and worked at his company. I found myself enjoying life for the first time in a while. I was doing well in every aspect of my life, and nothing could bring me down. As for Sam, I happened to run into him at a grocery store. He looked haggard. He looked very skinny and like he hadn't slept in a long while. He happened to recognize me. I tried to walk away, but he walked over to me. You can walk? Yeah. It took a while, but it turned out that my condition was curable. So you lied to me? You stole everything from me? You made me look like a villain for nothing. Sam, you did that to yourself. It's been years, and if you still haven't recognized why what you did was wrong, you're beyond help. All these years have been nothing but a struggle. Look at me, I'm constantly tired and I'm all alone. I would care, but I literally can't bring myself to do it. My dad was stupid to give you everything. Oh, but I'm the one who's working harder than you, and actually growing the business. In fact, just yesterday your dad was telling me how he made a very smart decision to hire me in your place. It doesn't matter. I'll talk to my dad and have him see the error of his ways. Whatever, Sam. I wish you nothing but luck. Bye. I have to say, running into him and seeing him look desolate made me feel great. He finally got what he deserved. It's sad that he still thinks that he's right, but oh well. That's none of my concern now. For now, I just plan on living my best life, surrounded by people who actually care for me. I'm done making excuses for people, and I've learnt what my worth is. I hope that all of you who are listening will take a page out of my book and know that your worth is always more than being treated like trash.
Always stick with the ones that are there for you at your lowest, because they will be the ones that soar with you at your highest.